Hey guys, so my name is Adrian and today is the 23rd of July 2022 and I am 1 year and just over 4 months on T. So in this video I'm going to be talking about my experience and my third appointment with the gender clinic and possibly what you guys can expect from it too. So in my last video I briefly covered that I was given a list of top surgeons and I was asked to look through them and pick one by my third appointment so that I could be referred. If anyone is going through this process right now and you need help, I have found a really helpful Facebook group that has a lot of top surgery results on it from UK surgeons, NHS and private. So if you'd like to be added to this group, feel free to message me below or message me on social media and I'll add you. So when the appointment started, I was given some information initially. I was asked if I knew about the different types of top surgery that there is, and I've obviously had a lot of years to do research on this, so I did. And I explained which ones I preferred to have done on me. As a personal preference, I'd like to go for peri if I can, or double incision if not. But you can find all the information on all the different types of top surgery online, and I'll make a video about the different types of top surgery at some point if you guys want it. She then went on to ask if I had any fears or worries about surgery. As I've never had any major surgery or just surgery before, I feel quite anxious about it, but she reassured me that that's really normal and that there was things that we could do to help me feel better about it or calmer about it if needed. I had a lot of questions, but I will go through a lot of these questions at the end in case you guys have any of these questions as well, because it was helpful to be able to ask her and have all of these answered. All of the questions that I had in my last video were answered. And then she went through the different risks of surgery and what could possibly go wrong after surgery. She talked about dog ears, she talked about scarring. These are all risks that will be covered when you guys go through this. But if you have any more personal questions about this, you're welcome to message me and I'm happy to talk about this in further detail. I did have a lot of questions about the process and the recovery, so we then went on to talk about that. So she went through the recovery process. She said in the first week of recovery, I'd really struggle with everything. I would need someone to do practically everything for me. In the first few weeks, I wouldn't be able to do any heavy lifting. She then went on to say that if everything goes well and as planned, they only keep you in the hospital for 1 night and then you have to go back sometime later to get your drains taken out, and that's pretty much everything there. I also asked about smoking and vaping and things like that. She recommended to quit around 5 months previous to surgery. She then went on to tell me that the surgery is irreversible. I guess they kind of have to tell you that. So after this appointment, she said that she was going to send a top surgery referral letter and that a few months later I would get an email showing what had been said. So it's now July. I recently received this letter, which is why I'm making this video so late after my third appointment. So my third appointment happened around May time, and now in July I have received the referral letter that was sent off in May. I also now have a date for my 4th appointment with the gender clinic just to check my levels and check everything's going well. Because I'm not very on it as I was with my GP, my levels have not been checked since my 2nd appointment, in which they were irregular. My levels for everything else have been checked and those have improved. However, my testosterone levels, because I messed up applying testosterone before my blood test and I did it the night before, my levels were not accurate. At least with the gel I apply, you have to apply this 4 to 6 hours before your blood test. The gender clinic did not think to explain that to me, which is why the results didn't reflect my true levels. Make sure that you always do your own research, make sure that you're always on it. I'm pretty sure my levels are meant to be checked every 6 months, so now it's going to have been almost a year since they were last checked accurately. But everything's okay, I feel fine, I'm not really worried, that's why I haven't really pressed about it, but it's the sort of thing that you have to push and you have to be on it if you want them to be on it. So in preparation for my 4th appointment, they want me to have another blood test so they can check how everything's doing. My estrogen did go down like it was meant to. So that's really good news. I remember in my last appointment, I discussed that my estrogen levels were incredibly high and I might have to go on blockers. However, since switching testosterone, my estrogen levels have gone where they should be. So I'm now gonna answer questions that I had going into my third appointment that I was able to ask. So my first question was, what's gonna be my journey from now up until the surgery day? What should I expect? Because I've heard a lot of mixed stories from friends that have gone through this process. They've been told they only had to wait a year, they only had to have one referral, things like that, and the gender clinic did not follow through on those statements. They've waited for more than a year, they've had to have more than one referral. I really just wanted to know how this all works, what can go wrong, so that my expectations aren't let down. So the gender clinic explained to me that for chest surgery, you only really need one referral unless they are worried about other physical or mental health conditions. From the moment she wrote that letter and sent it, I had officially been referred. However, the surgeon I chose is Dr. Nishal. A lot of you will know him because he's done a lot of people's surgeries over the years. He's one of the more well-known surgeons in the UK, and I chose to go for someone that has a longer waiting list, but in my opinion has the sort of results I want. Would prefer to wait a bit longer and be much happier with my result. The waiting list for Dr. Nishal at this time that I've gone on it is between 1 to 2 years. This can sometimes be shortened by people dropping out or lengthened because of previous experience I've had with the gender clinic so far. I asked if I needed blockers, if switching testosterone worked. I've already mentioned this, but my estrogen levels were just skyrocketing with the last testosterone I was on. Whereas now they've gone to the level they should be, which means I won't need blockers. So this is something that can help. And finally, one of the biggest questions I had, because I'd started on gel and I wanted to carry on gel, but I had heard so many rumors that you could only do gel up to the first 6 months and then you had to switch to injections. So this is not true anymore. They have gel now that you can stay on for the rest of your life if you want to. You never actually need to inject if you don't want to. Obviously, the injections can be more convenient, so I asked her to pretty much explain and tell me about both the gel and the injections and what they would mean for me. And the injections at the moment, the ones she offered me are every 3 months, so obviously that's a lot more convenient. However, it's an injection, which I'm not a massive fan of. So I asked about the gel and if there was any difference. She said, with what it will do to you, there is no difference. The only difference is that the gel you have to apply every day. And I explained that I would like to stay on gel, at least for now. They made a record of that. I hope that answers a lot of your questions. That answered a lot of my questions. But if you have anything that you want me to ask at my 4th appointment, I'm more than happy to do that. Again, just comment them below or message me on social media. I hope this video was helpful and informative. Thank you for watching.